In the sequence shown, a sub n is equal to a sub n minus 1 plus k, where n is between 2 and 15 inclusive, and k is a non-zero constant. How many of the terms in the sequence are greater than 10? So what is our formula for our sequence here saying? So every term in the sequence is equal to the number before it plus some non-zero constant. And so where n is greater than or equal to 2, and so that just means we got to start applying our formula at the second term because there is no number before the first term. And then there's 15 terms total in our sequence. But without knowing anything about those terms, we got to look at our statements. Statement 1. The a sub 1 is equal to 24, so the first term in our sequence is equal to 24. So before you start saying, maybe I'll just 13, 14, 15. So before you start saying, okay, well, if we keep adding to 24, well, all of these numbers are going to be greater than 10, but not so fast, because it doesn't say anywhere that k has to be positive. So it is possible that we are subtracting from 24. So for example, if k is negative 24, well, only one number in our sequence is actually going to be greater than 10, right? The first one. But where k is positive, then all of our numbers are going to be. So there's a lot of possibilities, given that k sign could be anything. So this is insufficient. Statement 2. The eighth term is equal to 10. So let's think about what this is saying. And am I going to regret not giving myself enough space? 12, 13, 14, 15. Got it in. So the eighth term is equal to 10. Okay, so this might seem insufficient at first, because we still only have one term. But let's think about this for a second, because the value of that term is 10. So what does that mean? It means either we are building up to this 10. So if we started, in other words, starting from our first term, we are either building up to this 10, or we are building down to it. And so what will happen in each of those two cases? So if we are building up to our 10, all of these numbers here, 1 through 7, should be less than 10. And then all of these numbers here will be greater than 10. So and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 7 terms greater than 10. Now, if we are building down to 10, so we started some number higher than 10, and then we are subtracting from it, well, then all of these numbers here are going to be greater than 10, and all of these numbers here will be less than 10 because we're going to keep subtracting. How many terms do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So no matter what the case is, and without necessarily knowing what the values are of these terms, we know that in both cases, we're going to have 7 terms and greater than 10, and B is actually sufficient. So that's kind of a fun problem. B, statement 2 by itself.